So people think a little bit of stretching, 5 minutes, 10 minutes is yoga. Some people think that, yeah, meditation is yoga. When you get older, it is veganism to yoga. Okay, that is another nonsense. What is prana pratishtha? Who created yoga? Madonna created yoga.
Welcome to our podcast over coffee and chai, to a conversation that will nourish your mind, body, and soul. मैं तबस्सुम with our special guest, Mr. Mahesh Vaidya, who hails from Kerala. Mr. Vaidya isn't just our podcast visiting, he is bringing the transformative power of yoga with him. As the founder of Holistic Yoga, he is decided to making yoga accessible to everyone, offering both free and premium classes. Mr. Vaidya's journey with yoga began at the young age of 16, and after 37 years of dedicated practice, his knowledge and passion are truly inspiring. Settle in because you are about to discover the world of yoga through the lens of a seasoned expert. We welcome you here in our first podcast over coffee and chai. I introduce myself to Vasu Nigar. We generally create content. Our work is as a storyteller. We call our work as unwrapping level. I just want to ask you that हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आज तक किसी भी चीज का नाम आपने रखा है या आपके दिमाग में कुछ ऐसी बातें आई हो
Yeah.
बिजनेस का या कोई भी आप वर्क
Of,
कर रहे हो उसका नाम आपको रखना है?
of course. So we run a yoga company, and we named it Holistic Yoga.
What is inspiration behind the name you had?
See, the inspiration is simple because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about yoga. So people think that a little bit of stretching or what you call as asana, just doing that maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day is yoga. Some people think that, yeah, meditation is yoga. So there are so many misunderstandings like that surrounding yoga. And what we looked at is just doing a little bit of stretching or doing maybe even 1 hour of meditation is not going to keep you healthy and fit. So we tried to create something which is all encompassing when it comes to overall fitness and health. So it is not just about physical fitness, it is also about mental wellness. Okay, so how can you be happy? How can you avoid unnecessary stress? How can you be mentally fit, right? And how can you be obviously physically fit? Okay. Now when you look at physical fitness, it encompasses multiple aspects. Okay, what are the aspects of fitness? Yeah, stretching, asanas is one aspect. Okay, flexibility is definitely one aspect of fitness, right? But there is something which is also, see, what happens is when you get older, you are starting to lose muscle, right? When you start to lose muscle, your metabolic rate drops. Okay, that is, your joints get more stress when you do day-to-day activities. So eventually you will start getting joint issues. Okay, so how do you prevent this muscle wastage as you get older? For that, it is important that you do a bit of strength training also. So yeah, in yoga also there is training. In the traditional set of yoga, okay, there is a bit of strength training. Okay, like for example, if you are doing vrikshasana, that is the handstand. Okay, that requires strength training. So there is a bit of strength training in the traditional yogic poses also, but we wanted more focused and more uh, directly applicable to day-to-day activities. Okay, so strength to lift a small baby off the floor, or even lift a kid off the floor, right? So if you want to lift a kid off the floor, if a kid is like 10 years old, you're going to break your back, right? So that should not happen, right? You can say that, oh, I'm doing yoga for so many years. Yeah, I broke my back picking up a kid. You don't want to be in that situation. So strength training is important. So we incorporated strength training as what we call as power yoga. Okay, just a bit of calisthenics type of exercises, which improves the strength of the body. And then you have got another part is your heart and lungs. Okay, some people, they go to the gym and they work out with weights, and they completely neglect, the heart and lung part of it.
Right,
Yeah,
sir.
they might have a lot of muscle, but end of the day, the heart will be weak, lung will be weak, and they get into situations where they are prone to heart attacks and all that, right? So heart and lung also has to be strengthened. So that you need some kind of an aerobic exercise for that. So that is why we
Yeah,
have these flow yogas. Flow yogas are like Surya Namaskar, and different types of variations of Surya Namaskar comes under flow yoga. So it gives you that aerobic strength also. Okay. Then you have got another aspect which people forget is agility, right? Agility in the sense, let's say, you're walking down the street, suddenly an auto rickshaw comes at you. You need to move fast to avoid the auto rickshaw. Or, something comes at you and you want to avoid that, right? Or you're just walking down the stairs and then you slip, right? And you slip, and if you're not agile, you will fall, right?
right.
If you're agile, you will be able to get your footing, even if you slip, right?
Yeah,
So these are all common things. What problem is, as you get older, if you slip and you fall, okay, then that injury will take years to heal. And if you hit your head, that is even dangerous. It is, it can result in death, even death or coma or
yeah,
whatever, right? So agility training is also important. Right? So that is why we incorporate various types of plyometric exercises. So that is there already in our flow yoga. Flow yoga has got a bit of jumping and all that. But in power yoga, we have incorporated multiple types of plyometric exercises, which gives you agility. That is moving from one point to another fast, right? So that is also incorporated. Then, of course, we
right.
have the hatha yoga, which is our flexibility. Flexibility is also a very important part of the fitness, right? The spine has to be flexible, right? Your age actually depends on the flexibility you have on your spine. Yeah, so that's the same
Yeah,
like that, right? So the spine has to be flexible. It's not only spine, the entire body has to be flexible, okay, to avoid injuries. Even for people who are going into the gym, okay, it's important that you do stretching exercises like asanas. When you
yeah,
do stretching exercises like asanas, what happens is that, first of all, you have, just from a point of view of people going to the gym, right? People going to the gym are just doing it to increase the muscle size, right? So muscles are encased in something called the fascia. It's a sheath, right? When you do stretching exercises, the sheath actually expands. Okay, so when the sheath actually expands, there is more space for muscles to grow. That is one aspect, right? The other aspect is that the range of motion for every exercise improves. So one of the main exercises for gym goers is squat, right? Now, if you're flexible, if your knees are
yeah,
flexible, if your back is flexible, you are
yeah.
able to squat down a bit more. Okay, we call it as butt to floor squats, right? So when you do full range of squats like that, the amount of strength you can gain out of that is much more compared to the normal squats you do, right? So even for gym goers, asanas or stretching exercises, flexibility exercises are very important. Other part is that recovery, right? So you might do gym exercises or any type of running exercises, whatever. After that, if you do asanas, your body is able to relax much faster, okay, avoiding
Okay.
things like inflammation in the body, okay, catabolic hormones in the body, stress levels are reduced. Okay, so you are able
Huh.
to perform much better the next time around, right? Or you don't want to go to the gym or go for a run and come back tired, right? You come back and you do a bit of stretching, then you have got more energy. Okay, that's your body is recuperating much faster, right?
So,
So
as you
stretching
say,
is
it's
also important.
a stress relief, but does it help with relationship, work, or overall personal happiness?
Yeah, so I'm coming to that, right? Okay, and then you have got something called Kundalini Yoga, which also we incorporate, which is more spiritual in nature. Spiritual in nature, in the sense, your body has got multiple energy centers, right? And what happens is because of our bad lifestyle choices, these energy channels get blocked. Energy centers as well as the energy channels get blocked. When these energy channels are blocked, it manifests as so many diseases in the body. So, what Kundalini Yoga does is that it purifies all these energy channels and the energy centers so that energy can be utilized for a higher purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, for example, spiritual awakening. So, ultimate aim of yoga is to be one with the universal consciousness. That is the aim of yoga. Right? Now, what I have understood over the last 36 years of daily practice, so probably 37 now, okay, daily practice is that you have to encompass all of this, not just one aspect, right? Now, each one of this can result in happiness. For example, okay, you just do power yoga or just do Surya Namaskar till you sweat.
Okay.
Okay, immediately you get all these dopamine response coming in, serotonin response coming. You are happy, right? And you feel more energetic. So all those good
Yes, sir.
feel hormones you get out of just doing Surya Namaskar. Or even if you go for a run in the morning, you get this serotonin. Okay, what I'm saying
Right.
is happiness beyond that. Okay, so just
Okay.
normal exercise will give you that serotonin kick, right? But what yoga does is much beyond that. Yoga does is yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha means a yogi is a person who keeps his mind steady in any circumstance,
Okay.
right? So, whatever happens around you, you are able to control how you react to it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, there is your emotions are not going pop, 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 right? You're
Right.
not in a
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster, right? This is what yoga gives you, right?
Okay.
Especially the things like Kundalini yoga, right, which is more spiritual in nature. Okay,
Hmm.
guides
Hmm.
you towards that. So what I would say is that you have got, let's say, power yoga. Okay, that is for strength. You have got flow yoga for endurance. Okay, power yoga and flow yoga also has a component of agility. Okay, and then you have hatha yoga. Okay, which is good for flexibility, also to maintain the right hormonal balance, right?
Okay.
Sometimes what happens is, again, due to bad lifestyle choices, our hormones are all over the place, or not function, thyroid hormones or insulin or whatever, right? All these
Hmm.
hormones are totally out of whack, we would say. Sometimes you have got adrenaline, cortisol, these kind of things too much in your body. So we call it as sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, it is what creates all these cortisol and adrenaline and those. And parasympathetic is like serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin and all that. You have got the parasympathetic, and both of this has to be balanced for a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so when you're doing hatha yoga poses, right, it balances out these hormones perfectly. Okay,
Yeah.
and then the next stage is the Kundalini yoga, which is more spiritual in nature. Once these are balanced, it is easier for the energies to travel upwards, what we call as to improve the level of consciousness you have, right? So that is a progression, right? So from a man or a human being is today is so interested in external things. How do we progress from focusing on external things, which becomes a what do you say, rat race, okay, or a guinea pig running on a wheel. So we are going in a rat race, tuck, 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 again and again and again and again, and again, going after that and this and that and this, and totally stressed out. To a peaceful, calm personality, which helps you achieve all your goals in life. So whatever you want to achieve in life is possible because your mind is an amazing tool which will enable you to achieve anything in life. That training of the mind is what your yogic training does. Right?
Yeah.
Now, to train the mind, we 100% believe that the basics has to be there. Physical fitness also has to be there. Some people saying that, oh, just train the mind, just train the mind, just train the mind. But the problem is that, okay, can you sit for meditation for 1 hour? If you're not physically fit, you cannot sit for meditation for 1 hour. You will fall
Right,
asleep.
sir.
You cannot keep your back straight. Right? So there are so many issues,
That's
right? If
correct.
you're physically fit, it is easy for you to sit for 1 hour for meditation. All of this combined, we created what we call as holistic yoga, right? So that is why we call it as holistic. Holistic means all encompassing. Okay, so now this is just one aspect. Then we also incorporated things like diet, right? Things like the knowledge about our Vedas and Bhagavad Gita. Okay, those kind of things. The knowledge of yoga, the philosophy behind yoga, right? This is what we cover in our satsang. Satsangs are discussions. Okay, so we take a topic,
Okay.
we take, let's say, Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what is Bhakti Yoga? Okay, and we discuss that. As holistic yoga, we encompass all of this. When you talk about diet, people say that, oh, vegetarian food is the best. If you're a yogi, you have to be vegetarian. I will say that is pure nonsense, right? It is pure nonsense. You don't have to be vegetarian to be a yogi, right? All the great yogis, there are so many great yogis in this world who have been totally non-vegetarian. Even in India, okay, the topmost yogis have been non-vegetarian. Okay. So yeah, so a lot of them have been vegetarian also, and that this vegetarian culture, I would say, came in the last 500 years or so. But yoga has been there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Okay, and the people who have been practicing yoga has been non-vegetarian, right? There is absolutely no doubt, right? But in the last 500 years, there has been a change in the Indian society towards vegetarianism, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, and a lot of these vegetarian yogis promoted yoga in a big way to the US and all that. So now in the US, okay, they equate vegetarianism to yoga. These days, it is veganism to yoga. Okay, that is another
Mm.
nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're vegan, you're already bereft of so much of nutrients. You will have to depend on supplements. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in serious health trouble if you're a vegan, right? If you are not on supplementation, right? So there are so many issues. So we try to bring that knowledge to everybody. Common person is not doesn't understand all of this, right? Because they are so busy. That is, if you have a couple of kids, you just have time for that, right? You have to do
Then you
cooking,
used
you
to
have to
give
do.
knowledge through the religious textbooks.
Yeah, so religious text knowledge through the religious textbooks in the sense. So let's say after our meditation, for example, we have around 20 minutes of discussion like this, right? So we take today we had a discussion about Ram Janmabhoomi. Why Ram
Okay.
Janmabhoomi is important? Okay, why that
Mm.
consecration is important? Okay,
Yeah.
what is consecration? Right? Everybody is talking about, yeah, prana pradishta is happening. What is prana pradishta? Right? People don't
Uh,
know all of this, right? So
yeah.
we discuss that, we explain that, so people understand. Right now, all over the world, people are going to be watching prana pradishta, right, in the Ram temple, right, all over the world. And people should not say that, oh, Indians are so stupid, they're worshipping a stone. See, especially, there is a bias in the Western society, even in the Middle East, right? Indians are people who worship stones, right? How can somebody worship stones, right? So there is total ignorance of why we are worshipping stones,
Yeah.
right? So people need to understand why we are worshipping that stone. What is the significance of that stone, right? They are just taking one stone and then creating a nice idol out of it. Okay, there is no divinity in the idol now, right? But after
Yeah.
the prana pradishta, then the divinity becomes, that stone idol becomes divine because of the energies which are imbued into it using mantras. Mantras are voice, voice, voice. Voice is very powerful, right? Voice creates vibrations, right? And these vibrations bring so much of energy into that stone, right? And when we are close to that stone, we feel that energy. We feel calm, we feel peaceful. And when we also chant those mantras, we are in resonance with that stone. And then we imbibe the qualities of that idol within ourselves. That is Maryada Purushottam. Right? Ram
Okay.
is the Maryada Purushottam. Right? So each idol has got certain qualities, right? And when we are there and we are chanting those mantras specific to that idol, okay, we are incorporating all those qualities of that murti into us, and this is what we want, right? So these are things which people don't understand, so we try and explain all of this. So it is not just physical fitness we are talking. Yeah, physical fitness, I haven't seen a doctor for probably more than 27, 28 years, right? Physical fitness is there, right? But that is a given, right? But there is not too much of importance to it because it is a given. More than that, it is how your mind works.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
just beyond the aspects of physical fitness, what is there? Okay, so that's, this is what we try to educate people. So, what we have is that we have got two free classes happening every day. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have got for advanced, okay, we have advanced classes also, which are paid classes. Advanced classes are necessary. Is not necessary if you just want to be fit. Okay, just the free classes will do for you, right? If you just want to be fit. Advanced classes are, yeah, you want to progress in your spiritual journey. Okay, you want to be strong. Okay, you want to have a six pack or whatever. People have all these ideas, right? You want to be
Yeah.
slim, you want to have a six pack, and
Correct.
yeah, yeah. So that's all covered in the advance. It's not a necessity, right? It is not a necessity, but these are things which we cover in the. So that is a paid program, and we have got diet classes. Okay, so diet is an important thing. Okay, so there are free diet tips we give you every day. What to eat, what not to eat. That's all free. But some people they just want a capsule format, right? What should I eat in the morning? Breakfast. This one, two, three. You have to eat
Yeah.
lunch you
Most
have
of
to
the
eat
people
this,
depends on capsules.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and at dinner what you have to eat. Okay, if your goal is to reduce 10 kilo of fat, okay, this is what someone has to write the chart and give it to them. So we do that also, but that is a paid program. It is not necessary. If you have the discipline, it's not necessary, right? Just following our
Yeah.
diet tips which you get every day. So in our WhatsApp group you get diet tips every day. If you're following that, it is good enough, right? But people don't,
That's
they just
correct.
read it and they don't incorporate it. Reading is one thing, incorporating it into your daily life is another, right? So that is there. And then you have got mentoring programs. Mentoring is also in our advance. Some people, there has to be somebody to push you to exercise,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise you don't exercise. And
Not
there is a
some people. I
community.
think most of the people need
Yeah.
some push.
So that's why we have created a community, right? Holistic yoga is a community of more than 2000 students across the world. So we have 15 teachers. We have close to 2000 plus, yeah, more than 2000 students across the world. So whether it is US, Europe, Middle East, that is Dubai, India. So we have students all over the world. And, we are trying to create a society which is healthy and mentally peaceful so that the world itself can be a healthy place and world itself can be a peaceful place, right? And we feel that is one of the biggest boons which India is giving to the society, entire world rather. And it has to be portrayed in the right sense. It is not, people should not just think that, yeah, everybody now knows that yoga came from India. Okay, there is, I'm telling you, there is 5 years back, if you go to the US, okay, some people you ask, who created yoga? Madonna created yoga. Oh, really?
Okay.
See, because they see Madonna practicing yoga on TV, so they think that it is Madonna who created yoga.
Right.
Right? No, no, that was the case some 5, 10 years back. Now, because our prime minister came and created this yoga, International Yoga Day and all that, now people, okay, okay, now we know yoga is from India.
People are aware. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yoga is from India. So now,
Yeah.
okay, now people are aware of yoga. Now we need to make them understand what is real yoga.
That's right.
Okay, yoga beyond the physical culture,
Mm.
right? So that is also, that is our goal is that, and to get as many people practice yoga as possible. This is what we do.
Okay. So can you explain about pranas and chakras?
Pranas and chakras. This I did cover a little bit. Okay, so you have got different energies within our system. Okay, instead of you have prana, apana, samana, vyana. So these are all things which are in our system. You don't have to go into all of this in detail. What we need to understand is that your body has got energy traversing through the body. Okay, whether it is for digestion or assimilation, all of this you have got different types of energy. These are all five pranas. There are five pranas, right? So there are different
Okay.
types of prana, apana, and all that. These energies are utilized for multiple things. Okay, taking something inside, okay, energy inside, or food inside, elimination, distribution of energy. All of that is coming under this five pranas. Now, this
Okay.
five pranas has to be working optimally, not one high. And all these practices which we have been talking about is to optimize these pranas. Okay, whether it is the intake or elimination or absorption or all of this has to be in balance. All the five pranas have to be in balance, right? And the whole objective of yoga is to balance this, right? That is one thing. And then we are talking about chakras. There are 100 plus chakras in the body. Main chakras we consider seven. Okay, starting from
Okay.
the Muladhara, going up to Sahasrara. It's seven chakras you have, right?
Oh,
So what we say is that Muladhara is situated just bottom of the spine. You have the spine and just below the spine. Okay, so
okay.
in the ladies, it should be somewhere near the vaginal area. Okay, so that area
Okay.
will be the Muladhara area. For men, it is more to next to the perineum area. Yeah. So that is where the Muladhara. Okay, and then you have got Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana is just beyond behind the pelvic bone, right? Okay, and then you go up, you find the Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is close to your solar plexus, okay, in the stomach area. Okay, and then you go up, you have got the Anahata chakra. Anahata chakra is close to your heart. Okay, so it is very close to the
Okay.
heart region, rather. Then you have got Vishuddhi chakra, which is close to, or behind your throat. Okay, you have the
True.
Vishuddhi chakra. Then you have the
Okay.
Ajna chakra, okay, which is just behind. Probably, if you draw a line right from here and line like this, the point of intersection is where the Ajna chakra is. Where we find the pineal gland and all that, you find that's where the Ajna chakra is.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Pineal gland, pituitary gland, all situated in that area, right? And then you have the Sahasrara chakra, which is right on top, right? When the babies are born, when you touch on top, you'll find a soft spot on top of the head,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that is where the Sahasrara chakra is. So these are, these important chakras, and each chakra has got certain qualities, right? Uh, you know, so enhancing of those qualities is what we do in Kundalini Yoga, right? For example, Ajna Chakra is the
Okay.
command and center chakra, right? So when you look at Ajna Chakra, one of the qualities is intuition, right? The more active your Ajna Chakra is, the more intuitive you become, right? So that is one of the qualities of Ajna Chakra. Okay, for Vishuddhi Chakra, one of the qualities is voice. Okay, not voice in the sense of voice itself. Okay, it is the voice which helps you convince other people, right?
Okay.
It's like whatever you say, people listen to. People like to listen to. People like to hear. People like to follow. Right. So that is coming out of Vishuddhi Chakra. And then we go, let's say, Anahata Chakra. Anahata Chakra is about compassion. You become more and more compassionate, right? More and more loving, right?
Mm.
So all that compassion comes out of Anahata Chakra. Then we go, so these are all subtle, subtle, subtle things. Okay? Then we go a bit more grosser. Okay? That is when you come to the Manipura Chakra, it is about power. Okay, you become assertive, right? Strong, right? Um, Strong will, what we call a strong will and all that comes from
Okay.
Manipura Chakra. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra is more to, I would say sexual powers and, all those come under the Swadhisthana area. Then
Okay.
you have Manipura, then you have the Muladhara Chakra, which is the basest, right, or the grossest. That is where the desire to make money and all those kind of food, shelter, right, nice house, all that comes within the Muladhara Chakra. So, if you look at the chakras starting from Muladhara Chakra going upwards, you will find the transition of your being from the grossest level of consciousness to the subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Muladhara is the grossest, right? You need food. Yeah, okay. You need to eat, right? Tasty food, right? You need to have money. You need to have house. All of that. And once that is satisfied, you have Swadhisthana. Oh, you want to have, you know, whatever,
Right.
right? That comes to Swadhisthana. And
Yeah.
then you have Manipura, right? Then you have the other things. You need power. You need power, right? Right? And only then, after the Manipura, then it becomes you're transforming from the grossest consciousness to the subtler consciousness, right?
Yeah.
So there's a transformation of the normal human being into something which is not normal or supernatural, right? That transmission happens from Manipura chakra onwards, right? So that is where we
Right.
go into the Anahata chakra, which you become more compassionate. So like that. And eventual goal is that as the energies reach the Sahasrara, or as it reaches the uh, um, Ajna chakra, we call it as Shiva Shakti union, or the Kundalini is awakened. Okay,
Okay.
Kundalini is the Devi Shakti, which is lying dormant in the Muladhara. Okay, and then it slowly travels up, touching each chakra, and reaches the Ajna chakra, and where the union with Shiva happens, Shiva Shakti union. And that is where
Okay.
what we call as enlightenment happens, or what we call as Kundalini awakening. Okay, or what we call as yogic awakening, or you become one with the universal consciousness, or one with Brahman. There are different ways of talking. One samadhi, all of that. People call it moksha, samadhi, right? Because once you reach that level of consciousness, you are one with everything. You are not separate from whatever that is around you, right? The
Right.
intelligence which you are one with the intelligence which is in everything, right? So you have tapped into that energy source as like, you cannot differentiate yourself from that energy source. It is
Hmm.
like you're taking a glass of water and pouring it into the sea. Okay, when you take a glass of water, it is individual glass of water, right? You pour it into the sea, that water becomes the sea,
Yeah.
right? So that is what we call as yogic union. Okay, that is what we call as samadhi, moksha, satori, right? In Buddhism, it is like satori, and different people call it in different names.
Names.
right? This
Right.
is what. So that is all a bit too complicated and all that. We don't have to go into all of this. We don't have to
Yeah.
think about chakras and pranas and pranayama, different types of prana. We don't have to go into all of that, right? We just have to do the basics first. Basics is
Yeah.
okay. Get yourself fit. Okay, learn how to do a bit of pranayama, okay, which is breathing exercises, which helps you to control the mind, which is coming later in meditation, right? So before
Yeah.
meditation you have to do pranayama. Pranayama is a control of the pranas within your body, and the easiest prana is your breath. Easiest ways to control the pranas within the body is the breath. Okay, so that is why we use pranayama, right? And after pranayama, then you're going into a bit more of meditation. So that is why in you have all these I would say in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, you are eightfold path of yoga: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Right. So there is
Mm.
a progression, right?
Yeah.
So let's start somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what one of your typical class looks like? You follow any structure or step-by-step rituals?
Yeah. So there are, so we incorporate all of this, which I explained, right? All of this is incorporated in the class. And for our free programs, also, little all of this is incorporated. The Kundalini program is not incorporated in the free classes. But other than that, you have the power yoga, which is a strength training. You have the flow yoga, which is Surya Namaskar in different forms. We have the Hatha yoga, which is the static stretches. You're holding the poses for long times. All of that is there. Breathing exercises, pranayama, different types are there. A bit of meditation is also there, right? So this is the basic format. So that is free, right? And then you have so basic you have got around 16 asanas. These are all basic poses which everybody should do, right? So these are the basic poses we teach that, and that is good enough to keep you healthy, right? Now there are thousands and thousands of poses. So many complicated poses are there. If you see our
Okay.
Instagram page, or if you see our Facebook page, you will find so many crazy poses. You don't have to do all of that. Okay. But as your flexibility level and all improves to make continuous progress, then you go into different levels, okay, of asanas, advanced poses and all that you go into. So that is all taught in the advanced classes, right? And
Okay.
then even the Kundalini meditation is taught in the advanced classes. So Kundalini yoga is one of the most powerful, or what we call as a potent form of yoga, right? Because it deals with the energies, subtle energies within your body. It cannot be taught to everybody, right? So even if you are joining the premium program, we don't immediately jump into advanced Kundalini exercises. So we
Yeah.
teach you the basics, for example, chakra cleansing, okay, chakra
Okay.
meditation. So the
Yeah.
basics, right? And then we watch how the student progresses, right?
Okay.
And if we see that within 3 months the student is okay, then we give the student integrated practices.
Mm.
Okay, so these are different types of kriyas. You might have heard of kriya yoga and all that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are different types of kriyas. There are multiple kriyas, right? And these kriyas are all very powerful tools to awaken the kundalini, right? And that
Right.
is why we don't just give it to everybody, right? It is only for a selected few we teach kundalini yoga,
Mm.
right? Kundalini cleansing, chakra cleansing, and all can be given. That's not a problem. Okay? But the advanced integrated practices, we don't give it to everybody. Now, there is more potent than that is the tantric yoga.
Yeah.
Right? Tantra yoga is what we talk about as different types of mantra. There are different types of tantra. Here we are
Mm.
talking about the right-handed tantra. Okay, so this is like different types of mantras, which comes under Sri Vidya Upasana and all that. That is even more potent that we don't even teach it to everybody. Okay, very
Okay.
rare, maybe a few students. Out of the 2000 students, we have probably maybe five or six are taught that.
Oh, okay.
Because if they don't have that tenacity or that willpower to do it every day, okay, it is going to be detrimental, right? So we
Okay.
don't, unless you have that aptitude, okay, you have that burning desire to achieve that spiritual union, we don't give them all these advanced things. But there are a few students who are doing it, and they're getting huge
Okay.
benefits out of it.
And how do you choose such students for that tantric yoga or that kundalini,
No,
what you
so
had
so that,
told?
that, that, that that's the thing, right? When we are teaching students, especially after 3 months of premium classes and all that, we know who has that aptitude. A lot
Okay.
of students, they come in for 1 month and then disappear after 1 month, right? So a lot of students, even if they join free classes, right? Normally we give free classes for 1 month, okay? Because the basics are taught in the free class. That's it. That's enough. But there are
Yeah.
students who join the free classes, they don't miss a single class. Okay, they are with us for many years. Then we give them Kundalini Yoga. They don't have to pay anything extra, nothing, right?
Okay.
But we know that, okay, they deserve it. They haven't missed a single day of class. That spirit is there, right? To do good in society. So there are so many things which we watch out for, and if we find students like that, we get them into our fold and slowly start training them.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, some of the religious, I think textbooks about some religious textbook you have read. When you were explaining the term holistic yoga, you had mentioned some of the textbooks, I think.
Textbooks in the sense we are talking about yoga philosophy, right? Yoga philosophy is what, for example, the textbooks are like Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, okay, different Upanishads, right? You have got 100 plus Upanishads, right? So all those Upanishads, these are all coming under the textbooks on the philosophy of yoga. Well, I haven't read all of it. I know a few of it, right? And with my limited, and it's extremely difficult to in one lifetime to cover everything. But with meditation, what happens is that once you have that initial knowledge, with deep meditation, your knowledge becomes more profound, right? Because everything is pointing in one direction. It is different ways of looking at the same thing. So once we understand that, okay, you understand it better and realize it better with meditation. So instead of going and some people, they just spend time, the whole life they spend in reading, right? No use, right? So
Okay.
practice is the most important thing. Yoga is more than 90% practice. Less than 10 percentage is philosophy and theory and all that. More than 90 percentage of yoga is practice. Are you able to sit and meditate for 1 hour? Probably no, right? So first start towards that. Okay, start with, let's say, 5 minutes of meditation every day. Slowly increase it to 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Put a target. Within 1 year, you'll sit continuously for one hour for meditation.
Mm.
Right? Every weekend, our meditation class is 1 hour. We do only meditation. It's starting till end 1 hour meditation, right? And that is we do it only for advanced students. We don't do it for and sit. Okay, you will think about 500 things,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So how
correct.
are you going to meditate, right? So you need to start training your mind, right? This 500 things you are thinking about in 5 minutes. With training, after 1 month, it will become maybe 50 things or 100 things. Okay, after 6 months, it will become 10. After 1 year, it will become five. Okay, after many years, there will be no thought. That is where the point of meditation happens,
Okay.
when no thoughts are happening other than the object which is meditated on. Right?
Yeah. So then, do you suggest your students to read some religious textbooks if they are interested in?
See, there are, everybody. The Bhagavad Gita is one textbook I tell everybody to read,
Okay.
right? Because it covers so many aspects of yoga. Another textbook is Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Okay, these are things which you have to read and understand.
Hmm.
So these are basic things. Bhagavatam is another thing, right? There are multiple books like that. Okay, Viveka Chudamani is another thing, right? Ashtavakra Gita is another thing. So there are books like that, but basics, Bhagavad Gita, everybody, you have to, right? There is absolutely no doubt. That is a must, right? If you are a good yoga student, Bhagavad Gita is a must.
Okay. Okay. So social media pages पे वेबसाइट पे there are reviews of people कि किसी की ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एक्सपीरियंस जो आपको याद है और आप शेयर कर सकते हैं हमारे साथ.
Yeah, see, transformation happens in multiple ways. Okay. So we had this lady who was around 125 kilos. Okay. And now she's around 70. This happened over a period of 1 year. It is not immediate. Huh? We don't ask people to reduce immediately because that is detrimental, right? Because you'd reduce suddenly, what happens is that you put on also suddenly after that, right? The moment you stop your exercise or diet, you immediately put on. Whatever you have gained, you will put on double, or whatever you have lost, you will put on double. Right? So that's not a good idea. But we have had like 50 kilos plus reduction in weight and all that, right? This has happened, right? So that is called physical transformation. That is the easy part. Okay. The more difficult part is diseases. We have had students who had serious diabetes, serious blood pressure, right? Within 6 months, they completely weaned off their medication. So we don't ask them to reduce medication immediately, right? Slowly, slowly, you wean it out, right? And within 6 months, they stopped medication completely, right? There has been many instances like that. There has been instances of people having serious back problems and knee problems and all of that. Okay, who has been completely cured. Okay, so these are all things which has happened. I think she has disappeared. Can you hear me?
Sorry, there are some technical errors.
Okay, yeah. So these are all transformations which we have witnessed. Now, the most subtler transformation is in the personality of people. We have seen that happening. People who used to sit at home, not going for any work, and all that. Okay, after starting yoga, they started getting the courage to go for work, and now they're getting 4 lakhs per month salary, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs per month salary. Right? This is like 2 years back, they were sitting at home doing nothing. That motivation, that willpower, that clarity of thought, that is most subtle. It's not easy to understand. Right? Even those kind of transformations, multiple levels of transformations have happened. Right? So it is with the regular practice of yoga, you get clarity of thought, right?
Yeah.
That makes you more productive. That makes you more efficient, right? So these are all coming under transformation. So you transform in different levels, right?
Yeah.
But the main thing is what we call in yoga is Dirghakala Nairandarya Abhyasa. Dirghakala Nairandarya Abhyasa means long-term daily practice. Dirghakala means long-term.
Yeah.
Nairandarya is daily. In yoga, you cannot miss a single day. Don't waste your time otherwise. Right? Yoga is a lifestyle. Right? You cannot waste a single day. You cannot miss a single day. Right? Even if it is 20 minutes, you have to find time to do it. It has to become a habit. Right? First thing in the morning, you go and brush your teeth. Right? Yoga should become like that. First thing in the morning, you brush your teeth and then do your yoga. And only then you will do
Yeah.
what, right? It
Okay.
has to be like that. This is what I've told you. Last 36, 37 years, I have not missed a single day of yoga. So I travel to the US often, right? So it is like probably 25 hours plus flight. I do my breathing exercises and my meditation all on the flight. And on the flight, it is amazing. That is it is captive time. You can go into deep meditation, right? So you don't have to miss yoga. And there are so
Hmm.
many kundalini chakra cleansing exercises which you can do on the flight without disturbing anybody. It is all internal, right? So there are, so that motivation and drive has to be there.
Okay. So I was about to ask about mental transformation, but you had already mentioned it and with example too. So next question, what I want to ask is holistic yoga the only business you have, or are there some other businesses?
Yeah, so I also run a IT organization. So we do, cyber security. So we prevent all the hackers from getting in. Okay, so that is another business which we have. I love both, whether it is yoga or cyber. I'm passionate about both. See, when you love what you do, it is never a work. Every day is fun, right? Whether it is cyber work or whether it is. So we do a lot of work for our defense agencies. Okay,
Okay.
and this is actually to protect our nation, okay, from external forces. So that is something which you enjoy doing, right? So you don't feel that it is work. So these are two things, and I don't have time for anything else. I just do this. I don't waste my time on
Okay.
anything else. I've got ample things at hand. Just doing these two things. That's it.
Where it is based?
So, see, we have, so when it comes to yoga, it is all online. Okay, we have got teachers based right across the world. We have teachers in the US, we have teachers in Europe, in Dubai, India, we have teachers all over the place. Okay, now on the cyber, we have got offices in Dubai, we have offices in Gujarat, Delhi, Lucknow, Mumbai, Kerala.
Okay. So then, what does branding and rebranding mean to you?
See, I wouldn't know about rebranding. I think with branding, I'm sure that we have done a good job with our branding. Okay, I'm not sure about rebranding, right? So yeah, I explained the rationale behind the brand, right? And it is important for people to understand what our brand stands for, what our logo stands for. Okay, so even if you look at our logo, okay, it is an amalgamation of different types of yoga, right? You wouldn't notice it, but you will find someone doing a power yoga. You will find someone doing Kundalini yoga. You will find someone doing flow yoga, all within that image, right? And then obviously you have the holistic yoga name also, right? So, yeah. And then you have the colors, right? So colors
Yeah.
are coming from the tantric yoga. Okay, the colors of the Devi. So the red is the red, yellow, white. All right. So it is again the transformation of energies. So energies coming from the Muladhara, red is slowly transforming into yellow, transforming into white or silver. Right. So that is the tantric thing, right? So all of that is there in the logo. So people just they don't they don't understand what that logo stands for, but it has got a lot of meaning inside it.
हम्म. तो कितनी जरूरी है ब्रांडिंग बड़े या छोटे बिजनेसेस के लिए?
Branding is important as long as we communicate that. Okay, whether it is small brands or big brands, it is important. And more than that, it is about how we can get that brand emblazoned into the memories of people. Okay, or people should start relating to that brand. Okay, so that is where the real branding comes, right? How
Okay.
can we get people to relate to that particular brand? Okay, and so far I don't think we have done much about it. Okay, so that is something which we have to spend more time on if we have to, become more and more aware. Because see, the thing is, all of this requires funds, right? And since most of our students are all free students, we don't have funds, okay, to actually do all these amazing things about branding, right? So everything has to be through volunteers and all that, right? So it is taking slow, okay, no problem. We are not in a hurry, okay. All of us are enjoying what we are doing, okay, so
Yeah.
we are fine, right? It is not our. I'm not thinking about making a single penny out of yoga, right? So that is not the objective, right? Objective is to make sure that everybody understand what yoga is and everybody starts practicing yoga. That is objective, right? Yeah, but branding is definitely important. Even if we have that goal in life, we need better branding. I 100% agree to that.
So, when you decide the name that you did check for the website domain or name availability?
Yeah, we did check. That is why we did not get com, so we got co. So it is holistic yoga.co, right?
Okay.
Com was not available, so but yeah, that's how you start.
So, it is necessary for people to do that these days?
About the domain,
Yeah, about the
yeah,
domain
it
name
is.
availability,
Of course,
searching
you
for
have to.
domain.
Yeah, of course, it is important, right? Uh, i- if people have to find you on the net, okay, it is your domain name has to be close to what your name is, your company name is, right? Otherwise, it is difficult, right? So, yeah, domain is important. There is absolutely no doubt.
What about social media username?
Even social media username has to relate to your company name itself. So it is holistic underscore yoga for us in Facebook and Instagram. Right? We could not get holistic yoga, so it is holistic underscore yoga. Okay, that is in Instagram. In Facebook, I think it is Mahesh Holistic Yoga. No, it's not Mahesh. It is M Holistic Yoga. Sorry, so something
Okay.
like that, right? So, so we have to match uh, close to what our name is.
Hmm. So, sir, that's our last segment. You need to tell the first word that comes to your mind. Are you
First
ready?
word that come to your mind about what?
About photography?
About photography. Photography is something which I do every day, right?
Adventure?
Adventure is something which I used to do a lot. Okay, that is, I was crazy
Childhood?
about adventure. Okay, childhood, yeah, a lot of good memories.
Book?
Book, Bhagavad Gita.
Travel?
Travel, I would say US.
Story?
Story again, I would say Mahabharata.
Okay. And yoga?
Yoga, I would say holistic yoga.
Okay. That's a good one. So, we are about to end the conversation. Uh,
Yeah.
but usse pehle, I would like to know from you that can story affect our cognitive abilities?
Stories definitely affect our cognitive abilities, and stories is a good way to communicate a real message, right? So, for example, if you take Devi Mahatmya, right? It is the victory of the Devi fighting
Okay.
Mahishasura and demons like that, right? When you look at it as a story is good, right? It remains in your mind, but every one of the story has got a deep yogic significance, okay, about our life and our mind, how our mind works.
Okay.
So victory of the Devi against Mahishasura, the demon is not actually the demon. The demons are our own bad tendencies. Mahishasura is like animal, right? So it is the animalistic tendencies within us is Mahishasura. And the
Okay.
Devi is killing the Mahishasura, right? So when we are doing these tantric exercises, okay, using these mantras and all that, we are using the power of the Devi to overwhelm all our negative tendencies. So stories are extremely important, right? Every story. So even in Bhagavad Gita, or Mahabharata or Ramayana, okay,
Okay.
stories are used to convey certain subtle philosophies of life on how to control your mind,
Hmm.
how to understand your mind, how to live properly,
Hmm.
right? So these are all stories. It looks like stories, but there is so much of embedded meaning into all of these stories, right? Krishna, right, in Bhagavad, Krishna goes and kills so many demons and that and this, and Krishna is lifting a parvat, right? All of that. When he was such a small boy, he's going and lifting parvat, right? So there are so many stories. These are all interesting stories, but each of these stories have got a certain amazing meaning inside it, right? But what has happened is that all these amazing stories were told as stories without explaining the real meaning behind it, and it got lost in the translation. This is what has happened in India, right? Krishna's Bhagavad, when you look at Bhagavad, it is a nice story, okay, and everybody understands it's a nice story, okay, and that is not right because people need to understand the real meaning of each of Krishna's stories. And this is also what we do in holistic yoga, okay, we teach people what is the real meaning of these
Okay.
stories.
That's good enough, sir. You explained really well about the value of storytelling.
Yeah.
We feel grateful for this time and conversation.
Okay, so
Anything
thank you
you
for this.
anything you
So
would like to say before we wrap?
no, no, I'm fine. I just wanted to answer your questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always message me and we can have a discussion.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay, okay, nice talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.